And we're back. Woo! So here's kind of the map of, well, it'll come eventually, the map of where this Minoan culture was located. Again, I probably should have put it up the front, but I didn't. So they're located right here in Crete. But next we're going to move into the period called Mycenae. I just learned to pronounce it and I forgot. Mycenae. We're going to do our best. Mycenae. Okay. So this is going to encompass this whole Greek region. So now we're seeing kind of more of a consolidation. You still have these independent city-states, but now we're starting to see more of your traditional government. So this is where it is in relation to, this is, of course, the Egyptian Empire and all of that. Okay, so the Mycenaeans, they come from Central Asia. Let me go back. So they actually came from this region over here and moved into the traditional Greek city-state culture. So they intermarried with the native people on the mainland and were able to create a large, not really empire, because at this point they're not really taking over a bunch of places, but basically a consolidated group of people, a bigger city-state, essentially. So they're setting up kingdoms on the Greek peninsula and around hilltop fortresses, and they're basically gaining control of these small city-states. So here it is again. Here's kind of the capital, if you will. And this is the era of time where we see these big name cities appear. So we have Athens, we have Sparta, we have Knossos, we have Troy. So we have basically these cities that are going to become really important when we get to the classical Greek period. So the Mycenaeans are the ones who supposedly fought in the Trojan War, which I think is super cool. I'll have a slide about that in a second. And it's really the setting of Greek myths and Homer's epics. So even though this is before the classical Greek period, so it's 1900 to 1100, I can speak, BCE, this is really going to be the site of Greek myths. So when we see tales of like Zeus and Poseidon and Hades, these are all taking place in this time period. So Homer's Iliad, right? The oh my gosh, why is this doing that? Iliad, the Odyssey, those are all supposedly taking place in this Mycenaean world, right? They're the people who believed in Greek gods. They believed in what we think of as like typical Greek mythology. And that really was, in a lot of ways, the linchpin, the cornerstone of their society. So here we have the Trojan horse. So I'm going to go back to this for a second. So the king and his brother of Mycenae, basically the king's brother's wife, I know, kind of confusing, but her name is Helen, and she gets kidnapped. She's also kind of in love with him, so negligible kidnapping, by a guy who lives in Troy. And obviously they're pissed about it. They have this big war. People die. Achilles dies. Other people die. Everyone is dead. And finally, to end it, you've maybe heard the Achaeans. I can't say this. The Mycenaeans, the main guys, they bring all of their forces into this horse, right? And they are finally able to capture the city of Troy and kill everybody. It's very sad. Who knows if it actually happened? Unclear, but the city of Troy existed, and this is kind of a good example of Greek culture, essentially. Lots of invasions, everyone's dying, pretty great. So the Dorians is going to be the last section on here. This is the third period, and they are going to move into Greece from the north. And so the Mycenaeans, they're weakened by infighting. So if the Trojan War actually happened, like, well, people are dead, right? Stuff like that.